Hello there, I'm Kaz, and welcome back to SpectrobeStember. Spectrobes was not a critical darling when first released, but it was very successful, selling over 1 million copies, becoming a bestseller on the DS, even receiving a collector's edition in North America the same year. So of course, a sequel was greenlit. Jupiter made it their objective to make a better game than the flawed original, creating a concept for the sequel and testing it with veteran players and newcomers. Using the massive amount of feedback they got, they focused on the direction for what they wanted the sequel to be like, created a prototype, and focus tested to prototype with kids. More webisodes, which I failed to mention last time since they were just Disney advertising the products unlike some people, were made in preparation for the release of the sequel. It's obvious that the webisodes were essentially made to be what the anime series was to Pokemon, only shorter and, well, no longer in production. Beyond the Portal also made an appearance on Stitch, but I don't think many people watched that show, not even when it was on air. The story takes place months after the events of the first Spectrobes game. A new swarm of Crawl led by the High Crawl, a group of 4 highly intelligent Crawl, attacked the non-Era star system so Roland and Genomos once again stop the invading forces from destroying the galaxy. This time around, the pair has to go through a series of portals, gee, I wonder what the title was referring to put a stop to the Crawl's plans, and search for Aldos from Spectrobes 1, who goes missing early on. One word that would sum up the story is disappointing. It's not as bad as Origins, oh trust me, its day is coming. It's just so lackluster and misses so many good opportunities to tell a good story with the setup it has. Those other portals I mentioned, they bring the two to new star systems, but what they discover on them or about them never goes beyond plot convenience, just one planet with some ancient technology that just happens to still work however long after it was abandoned. Although someone answer me this, why is it that these ancient civilizations always get wiped out when they have the best technology available to them? I mean, the spaceship from the first game, the satellite from the second one, and the third one where they have robots that have human emotions.
My apologies for any inconvenience to you, Tidy.
Scout! Seriously, what were these civilizations doing when they were being invaded? Were they waiting for the last Guardian to come out? I wanted to know more about these other cultures and how they dealt with the Crawl, maybe even meet a character who wasn't a walking token. But instead, these sections are underdeveloped and could have easily been fit into one single universe labeled Ancient Deus Ex Machina. The characters are still as uninteresting as before, at least since the only interesting one is absent for most of the game, but again, we'll get back to that when we talk about Origins, and while the villains are given some personality, very one-dimensional ones at that, the more unintelligent and bestial Crawls from the first game come off as more frightening than their coordinated leaders, mainly because you knew their goal, but you didn't know why they were trying to accomplish said goal. They were more, for lack of a better word, alien, more unknown, and what we fear most is what we do not understand or know, which made them all the more menacing as a galactic threat. I know I shouldn't really be looking too deep into the plot of a game where a guy can summon a giant fire serpent from a rock, but coming off the premise of the original, coupled with the missed opportunities here, and it's hard not to see that Beyond the Portal does not take its story beyond the level of a mediocre tale of saving the galaxy. No, they saved that for what really matters. Every returning feature from Spectrobes has been given a substantial upgrade in Beyond the Portal, and just about every single change and addition accompanying them is one for the better. Once again, you go through the star system exploring the planets within them, and areas on said planets, but the execution is far more competent here. Each area is covered with a series of tornadoes for you to defeat, but unlike last time, they're not all wandering around randomly. Some remain stationary and summon weaker Crawl, which Ron can defeat on his own to improve his rank, but to remove the tornadoes permanently, he needs to enter them and clear a series of battles with his Spectrobes. Once you clear all the tornadoes in an area, you can bring on your child Spectrobes to search the area for and dig up minerals, fossils, cubes, and the newly added mystery stones, which are barely a mystery since it's either minerals or custom parts, but I digress. Digging hasn't had the same drastic level of change as other mechanics have, instead refining the most important aspects about it. Tools you obtain are much more effective in excavating, and drilling through the ground is made much easier, yet more challenging than before. What's more, different planets will have different fossils and different terrain that require different tools to excavate from, like the torch that breaks through the ice on the ice planet. It's a small change, but it goes a long way in keeping drilling from getting stale as you ravage each planet for their natural resources, uncover fossilized remains, and bring them back to be awoken by singing. Singing isn't just a matter of blowing into the mic anymore, as the pitch you have will result in a different colored creature. Silly as it may be, it has its charms. yelling into a mic to wake up some hideously malformed creature with one soothing singing voice. Oh, look at the demonic spawn, he's so cute. Speaking of Spectrobes, the count has more than doubled, and evolving them isn't anywhere near as padded out as much as it was before. Each of them has a specific requirement before you can evolve them into adult or evolved forms, involving levels, minerals, and battles. It's a huge improvement from the original, where you had to wait for hours on end in the incubator for them to evolve, and lets you jump straight into combat with your new allies, which is good since not only has the combat been retooled, but improved in every regard. Battles are no longer Roland commanding the Spectrobes, but instead, Roland letting the Spectrobes do their own thing. You take control of one of two Spectrobes in a series of battles, usually 2 to 3, and try to defeat all Crawl in a given encounter. Like the first game, each Spectrobe feels unique to control in battle, except the Dark Spectrobes, but we'll get to that, with different types of attacks and special moves that have been more polished than its predecessor, and can even be swapped between the two Spectrobes mid-battle. The AI is competent this time around on both sides, the boss battles are challenging, and the massive roster of new enemies complements the increased amount of allies on your side. It makes the battles feel more urgent, almost like it's a team effort. Roland will take out the small fries on the field, and the Spectrobes will clear out the tornadoes for Roland, thus allowing him to explore the areas for more fossils, more minerals, and ways to drive the plot forward. There are times where you get stuck, and actually switch controls over to Gina to solve things. She plays a much bigger role, getting her own sections where you even solve some puzzles to help Roland move forward and explore. Again, complementing the team dynamic in place in the game. Considering she was meant to be the original protagonist, this is a massive step in the right direction. Yes, all of the old bits from the original Spectrobes have been tweaked and refined to a significant degree, but some of the new parts don't feel like they were fleshed out as well as they could have been. Gina's more active role in the game is appreciated, but her puzzles are way too easy. They can be solved in under 5 seconds, and are kind of a waste. Likewise, the minigame that occurs when you enter a portal is fun the first time you tried, but they can easily be skipped and don't do much aside from making you wish you were playing a full-fledged flight simulator with better controls. Oh, and have I introduced you to the camera? Oh my, the camera is horrid. Absolutely horrid. You can never angle it to where you want it to be, which results in you taking many hits which you can't avoid because you can't see where the enemies are. The copy-paste nature of Dark Spectrobes comes off as lazy, but they're only really necessary for one battle. It's kind of a throwaway that, again, should have been given more attention and fleshed out beyond mere palette swaps. However, none of these lesser additions or flaws ruin Beyond the Portal. Like I said, they just needed more time to be given the same level of depth and attention that the rest of the game has. All the changes made to the original are changes for the better, and there are some new pieces added in that really do fit well in Beyond the Portal. One change you may have noticed already is the huge improvement to graphics. The bird's eye view from the first game is replaced with the terrible camera we have here, which, when you can get it to actually work, shows all the detail that has gone into each Spectrobe's design, each character's actions, each enemy's movements, as well as some nice touches that help make each planet look unique and visually pleasant. Aside from some jarringly low quality in the beginning, it's one of the best looking games on the system. Sound design is still very bland, lacking any memorable tracks or sound effects, but it is better than the original. Finally, let us conclude once again with the new Spectrobes, of which the quality of the designs vary greatly. There are some of the best designs in the entire series here, some even taking inspiration from ancient Japanese culture, but there's also some of the worst and some of the most in all the series. Once again, the good ones definitely outshine the bad, but the bad ones are really, really bad this time around. All in all, Spectrobes Beyond the Portal is a massive improvement on all fronts. Spectrobes Beyond the Portal is one of the better games for the DS, and I wholeheartedly recommend it to RPG fans and people looking to just add a good game to their DS library. In the final week of SpectrobeStember, we're going to take a look at when the series got really weird. Ish. Until next time, game on, my friends. Why don't I just walk out?